Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. Harriet Tubman. These are the sources I've used to enhance my speech. www.brainyquote.com, pbs.org, biography.com, a second portion, history.com, history.net, and teacherscholastic.com. Harriet Tubman has risked her life and freedom to save others. She is a freedom fighter and has helped many other slaves escape from slavery throughout her life. She has played a large part of the U.S. abolitionist movement. I had crossed the line, and I was free. But there was no one there on the other side to welcome me as a free person. I was a stranger to the strange land, from Harriet Tubman. Despite her harsh conditions, she was still able to escape from slavery. She was a woman with a stern personality who was always driven despite her given state. Tubman was born into slavery in Maryland in 1820. At the age of 5, she was turned into a house slave. She was also married to a man named John Tubman, who was free at that time. In 1849, she found out that she and some other slaves on the plantation were to be sold, and so they found that time period to run away with the help from a white woman. She went back multiple trips to go save her family and friends to bring them out of slavery. Tubman is a woman who is always ready to stand up for someone else. For say, she blocked the doorway to protect her field from another overseer. Later, the overseer picked up a 2-pound weight and threw it at the free hand, but it ended up throwing it at Tubman instead. She overcame a lot of physical hardships throughout her lifetime. From her age of 5, she worked as a house servant, which her job was to watch and babysit. However, whenever the baby woke and cried, she was whipped. She could remember times where she was whipped 5 or 6 times before breakfast. However, her head injury was the worst of all. From the 2-pound weight, her owner made her work through blood, sweat, and tears rolling down her face. She soon began to have seizures and began to fall unconscious at different times. However, her owner unsuccessfully sold her, so she stayed within his presence. She endured these physical hardships and made it to become a stronger woman. Her strong personality and harsh conditions allowed her to become a stronger woman to achieve stronger ambitions. She founded the Underground Railroad and went for frequent trips to the South to save other slaves through slavery. Tubman returned to the South at least 19 times throughout her time period to free other slaves through the use of the Underground Railroad. With her native intelligence and courage, she was put a reward for her capture as high as $40,000. Tubman founded the Underground Railroad, and she also did a collaboration with John Brown in 1858. He asked for her help, but however, during that time period, she fell sick and was only allowed to give him advice. Tubman's resistance for anti-slavery did not only stop during the Civil War. She also served as a nurse, a scout, a spy, and in the Union government. She helped nurse the sick and wounded from Florida to Carolina, helping both black and white soldiers. She also worked as a spy under the command of James Montgomery and collected information around the different areas and helped different slaves get released into the North. She worked as all these things to minister slaves to escape and to help the Union Army. I know of no one who has willingly encountered perils and hardships to serve our enslaved people more than Harriet Tubman. She is one of the bravest persons on this continent, by John Brown, the person she had once worked with. Harriet Tubman risked her life and her newly found freedom to save others, so she was one of many things. She was often referred to as Moses, the Moses of her people, which is a reference to the Bible, and for leading so many people and so many slaves into freedom. She was an abolitionist and an integral part of the Underground Railroad. She was a humanitarian and a Union nurse and spy during the Civil War. Thomas Cole is an example of someone who Harriet Tubman has helped in the past. Thomas Cole was born August 8, 1845, and was once a working slave to kill wild animals. He had only once heard about Harriet Tubman, a woman who would take slaves to Canada via the Underground Railroad, and to make this dream come true, she one day decided to help him. From traveling at night and hiding out in the day, he thought that she was one of the bravest women throughout the ways that she showed them how to break out from the South. Even after helping her slaves into freedom, she continually helped them look for places to live and work. She wanted them to respect themselves by earning their own living, and she stated that this was her most difficult job yet. Although she was never able to stable herself economically, she was able to raise funds and support people and continued to give freely to her people. She donated a parcel of her land to the African Methodist Episcopal Church and opened her home to many others in 1908. This is well seen as one of her most open moments in the past. Tubman helped more than 500 slaves escape from slavery, marking a remarkable moment in history. In conclusion, despite Tubman's harsh conditions, she was still able to be mentally strong and escape from slavery. Her personality led her to be a leader from the Underground Railroad and helped many others to escape from slavery. Because she risked her life and freedom to help others, she will always be a well-renowned figure in American history. Tubman was a widely known and respected woman and became an American icon even after she died. At the end of the 20th century, she was named one of the most famous civilians in America before the Civil War. And until today, she continues to inspire for the continuing generation and emerge today to fight for more rights. And therefore, I feel that Tubman was one of the greatest people in history that we have to see today. Thank you.